talking about this, about Ken Bono going back and forth, and he says, oh wow. And you see the reaction of Coach Gino. He just can't believe all these made threes. And I think it's really more of how they've been late defending.
Yeah.
There is a lot of movement on that side of the floor para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. It really, makes your team commit mistakes. A spin right here, good block by Marion Magat. You're not doing that against the big guy.
Sa agandahan dito sa mga 3-point conversions ng Mindoro, it comes within the flow of whatever offense they're trying to run.
That's right.
Sedorifa maintains his pivot foot, and that should be the nail in the coffin as Mindoro looks like they'll secure win number 10. And Muntinlupa also has 10 wins, as well as Rizal and Jensan.
And this is an impending 4-game losing streak for Muntinlupa right now. And I guess the question here is, how much more energy can you pull out of the Muntinlupa Cagers, especially heading into these next few games, which are very important. You mentioned this earlier. They're going up against Nueva Ecija, Pasay, Binyan, and those other two, Quezon and Pasig. It's just corner fine.
Live the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And every time that ball goes downhill, you have to make a corner guy back cut. Exactly how Sedorifa did that. And to go with footwork on that lane finish.
Muntinlupa about to suffer their 4th straight loss. They had a great start to this season, 10-2. But as early as that game against San Juan, I've already mentioned this. It's gonna be a test of character for them. Dahil sunod-sunod yung mga mabibigat na kalaban nila. How would they deal with this kind of adversity? Because they were just clicking on all cylinders to begin the season. At one point, they were actually shooting 40% from beyond the arc. That has dramatically dropped down to only around 32%, which is still a good number.
But it's, mababa compared to the previous ones that they hit.
Saka hindi natin nababanggit yung shooting clip nila from that distance during that losing skid.
Yes.
Which is probably below 30%.
Yes. And even yung volume shots, I feel, is also a matter for them to look at. Speaking of the Cagers, after winning their first, 5 games, losing just by 1 to Bataan, and then able to recover against Valenzuela and Rizal, but then meeting up against a very strong Zamboanga this season. It's just been tough para dito sa Muntinlupa Cagers.
But you got to give credit to Mindoro. And they had a tough start to the season. At one point, they were just 1-5. They made some changes. And now they're under Coach Benji Teodoro, about to go 7-3 under his tutelage. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme Magpalamig free installation for split-type air conditioners.
And pretty much a solid outing for the Mindoro Tamaraws. The fans have been looking forward to this game, them coming back home and being able to really just sustain this run. And this town has hosted real well these games in Apola. I personally would like to say this is one of the, good.
94 for the Mindoro Tamaraws, 76 for the Muntinlupa Cagers.